everyone. This is our next week about stations of the cross, and today we are going through the station number 10 and 11. So, we know that we are going to the close side of the end side of our way of the cross, and it's getting really painful. Yes, we know that Jesus had three fall. We know that Jesus had different incidents of putting up all many issues emotionally, physically, and seeing mother on the way, seeing some help from different people. But on the 10th and 11th station, it is really painful, right? Yes. So on these two stations, we can see what he is going to do. The station 10, what is that? We are almost there at the Calvary, and they are ready to crucify Jesus. And before crucifying, there are different rules that they need to do, right? Why they are crucifying? Because that's the slow death that they can give to the worst criminals at that time. So they will take the criminal fully naked almost, and then put them on the cross, and they will not allow them to breathe properly, because if you are nailing them two hands together with that muscles in the whole body, you can't really breathe. Because to breathe, you need to take some power and then take that breathing capacity. So it's not so easy to breathe if you are on the cross, and that's why they may stay at least, or maybe sometimes up to 7 days or so, because some people will struggle to breathe, and they use their leg to force the cross to get the breathing, and they always try their best to live, but they will die after 7 days, and sometimes they can't even do anything. So the birds or the eagle can come and try to eat them from the cross while they are alive. All those things are there if you need to find more about the real cruel things happened during that time. So we are trying to find out what happened on the 10th stations, that Jesus was near the Golgotha, Calvary, and then they are ready to crucify him. The first thing that they did, they stripped off the garment, and we know that he was given a red big cloak from the Pilate's palace, and then he was wearing that, and he was getting all the scourging, all the beating, all the falls through this one. And with all the suffering that he had, his body is sticked heavily to that cloth. And this station, they are taking off the cloak out of his body. And sometimes you will feel what's the big deal about it, because it's not a big deal, it's just taking your cloth off. And why you think that it's a big deal? Because he was going through this tough time. He cruelly, like everyone was cruelly deposited everything on him through this cloak, right? Through this garment. And it is very painful to take this cloth out of his body, which is wounded severely. So he's already mixed his body and blood into this cloth, and then they are taking that cloth off. The skin was really bloodied, and when you take the cloth off, skin will come off. Just imagine if you get some burn, and then if you are trying to take the cloth off, the skin will come out as well, and how hard it will be, painful it will be. So imagine the whole body is damaged with all this brutal accusation happening on his body. And then he was silent while they were taking this garment. The wounds that he was having, He didn't say any single word. He was really silent. He was putting everything, all the sacrifices, in silence. He was ready to happily die for the whole world. Thinking about the pain that Jesus was going through that time, I was feeling how rude we are putting all these wounds to Jesus. It can be our daily manners that we're doing. It can be the hard times that we are giving to other people. It can be the rude things that we're doing to others. And sometimes that's the inner sins that we are doing without knowing anyone. Anything that we're doing against the love of God is becoming as a big wound to Jesus. And then he was giving his own life through all these things because he loves us so much. He doesn't want us to go in vain. That's why he was giving everything for us. I feel like, he is standing there helplessly, doing nothing and ready to take the garment off in front of the whole community over there, in front of his mother, in front of his brothers. He can't really do anything. Why he did this? It's only because he loved us. He loved us that much. So when he is having his station of like taking his garment off, I always think of all my iniquities, all my bad things that I have done so far. Jesus, I'm taking that off my body, mind, and soul. Because if it is a habit that I have already, it is so hard to take it off. It's so hard to stop it. If it is already there embedded in me, it is like very close to my heart, close to my skin, and it is so hard to take it off. That's what we need to do when we reflect on this station. Yes, it is painful. It is like taking the skin out of your body. But sometimes, if you really want to go through that victory, you need to take it, all the old or bad cloth off from your body. I'm thinking about all the addictions that we have. That may be the one thing that you need to take it off while reflecting on this station. Can be a unrealistic anticipation that you're keeping there, the false dreams that you're having, or maybe your lazy mindset, maybe your sleeping patterns, something that you can't really change, your eating patterns, whatever it is that you can't really take it off easily. That's what Jesus is asking you to take it off now. Are you listening to me? Can you find out something? Any single thing that you can take it off by listening to this station? If so, that's what Jesus wants to do in this one. Going to the 11th station, that's really hard for us. That's what Jesus actually nailing to the cross. I was like thinking in the human body, how many bones we have? Yes, we have around 206 bones. And what happened when we nail like a grown person? Yes. So different people saying different things. Some people are saying the nail was over there in this part of the wrist going through that one. But in different pictures, you can see that inside the palm is the hole of the nail. So different historians saying different places of nailing. But whatever the nailing is like, the main part of the pain, I feel like they will be nailing one hand first, and They will be going, taking the other hand to reach out to the nail already there in the other side of the cross, and see whether it is not fitting into that position. They will be grabbing that person to reach into that nail point. Just imagine the pain that you're already on the nail on your right hand, and it's bleeding and then having severe pain, and then they're holding and grabbing you to the next side. What do you feel about it? And these human people, the human real people surrounded by this person who is fully injured, and putting that nail on his hand, and some other human actually hammering the nail into his flesh. Thinking about it itself is horrible and painful. After these two nails, what happened? They will raise the cross on top, or like 90 degrees, and then they will be nailing the two legs together. Look how hard it is, a nail going through these 2 feet of a grown 33-year-old young person. How much pain he had while nailing this. It is amazing seeing these with your own eyes, hearing the cry with your own ears. If that is happening to your own son, that's what Mother Mary did. Why he is doing this for us? Why Jesus is suffering for us? It's only because he loves us that much. Think about our life and whatever things that we did for other people, that their mind and body got injured because of our actions and our words and our thoughts, and maybe even our plans. Sometimes we may omit to talk to them. We may stay away from them. That's all big crucifixion that you are doing to other people. When you go through this station, you need to think how many times I nailed my family, my friends, my colleagues, and whoever in the community, knowingly and unknowingly. If it is unknowingly, this is a good time to get pardon, because God is compassionate. But if it is knowingly, it's the time to feel that pain. Gather those times that you intentionally made other people upset and sad. Burn a candle. Imagine that, how it will be if you get that wax melting on your hands. How hard it will be. Feel that dryness of a human, that no water is there, but all the blood is coming down drip by drip and losing consciousness. Can't even talk, can't even breathe. Take that moment into your heart. Just try to pinch your hands with a little needle and see how painful it will be. And think how Jesus had these nails gone through his 2 hands and 2 legs and even into his heart. How much painful was it? Try to be part of that pain. That's the same pain that you gave to the other people when you were doing wrong things to them, when you were neglecting them, when you were giving hard time to them. It's a time to take a pause. Connect to your core and start the change in your life. Jesus is there with his compassionate heart to help you in all the hard time. His blood is there pouring on you, covering on you, protecting you. But you need to ask him because he's a gentleman. He never come inside without your invite. So invite him. He will come to your heart. He will change your heart. He is the core of our life. So invite him to your life. Connect with that core. That's the beginning of the change. This is Dominus Nisi and you are with Bismi.